And now, the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Wow.
Okay.
Bird on my shoulder.
Big D and Bubba, they have a show 5 days a week, but they don't get to say everything
Not
that's
true.
on their minds, so they have an extra one. And that's how we get the podcast, the podcast, the podcast, the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast,
I actually like that.
the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Aww.
That's about right.
All right.
Oh, that kind of about took me out there. I forgot. you ever been waiting on a restaurant so long and they're like, they call your name and you're like, oh, God, that's us. Let's go. I also miss smoking or non-smoking.
Smoking sections were great and pointless.
Oh, so pointless.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
they were always
always.
like just one side of the restaurant, one
An open room.
And it was so weird because, like, when smoking section started, it used to be the non-smoking section was the small area.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
would put, cordon like 2 or 3 tables off, and that was like you're away from the smoking tables. But
I
then,
thought we
like,
would always do that.
what's that?
I thought we would always have a smoking section.
Yeah, it's weird.
Why do we have vaping sections now?
Do they have vaping sections?
No, I think we should. Right?
Oh, they do. It's outside of the venue. Like, they always have a vaping
Man.
or
Nah,
smoking
see,
patio.
The thing is, though, but the amount of people who just vape anywhere, they don't care.
Yeah.
Step
Blow
out
it
to
in
the
their shirt.
smoker's porch.
Yeah, no, they don't. Rules don't apply to them. Every concert I'm at, inevitably, I'm next to the guy who thinks he's being real covert. I'll put my hand over my jewel, and we get it, man. I can smell the bubble gum. It's
The bubble gum.
do like the
when they do
strawberry.
when they do the weird
Yeah.
flavors, and I'm like, what are you doing with your baba? You need your pacifier.
I feel bad when I saw a guy, he was having to smoke, and he was so far away from the building, standing by a dumpster. And I felt bad for him. It was just him and him smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, man, y'all made him go all the way over there for no reason. He'd just
And
be
you
outside.
know what's going to happen with that butt whenever he's done with it. He's going to throw it right into the dumpster. And then, very first fire I ever worked, my very first fire
Dumpster
was
fire.
a dumpster fire. It was so cool. I'm like, wow, this is how it happens?
I've seen it play
So
out.
they actually have little ports and everything in a dumpster for fighting dumpster fires. Believe it or not, they're so common that there are special ports for fighting dumpster fires.
like there's like
On
a
the
hole in
dumpster
side?
itself, yeah, there's holes, there's drainage on the bottom.
Wow.
So you can drench, and just, because you have to dump a ton of water on it.
Well, that's the dumpster juice that comes out.
Yeah, that could just be stuff like.
Well, you're getting all kinds of stuff. You're mixing our water with their juice, and
Remember, like 6 lifetimes ago, when I managed a team at a call center, and I got a call from one of my employees. She's frantic. She's like, "I'll be late to work. I'm sorry. It's not my fault, though. Cop pulled me over because I threw a cigarette butt out the window." And I was like, "Well, that is your fault then."
That's your fault.
Yeah.
I'm like, "You littered. Also, you're gross." Oh, she was so incensed.
Where were you at? What did you do?
I managed Verizon Wireless call center teams.
So they're just calling people around the country?
No, it was around the country. Yeah, where they would either, it was the customer service, like, "Hey, I don't understand my bill," or for a while, people who would call to welcome you to Verizon Wireless.
oh,
because
they have that?
they used to. I don't know if they do anymore, but it used to be because they saw there was such a huge amount of customers that called about their first bill. They didn't understand it.
Oh, okay.
Because you might have opened up service on the 2nd, but your billing date is the 18th. So you think your bill should have
country?
started the 2nd. No, it was whatever. around the country. Yeah, yeah.
Oops,
we're-
sorry.
Okay. And so they would proactively call people or send text messages like, "Hey, if you have questions, call us." And to tell them, here's what your first bill is going to look like. Do you have questions about using features? Also, hey, you can call this to get your minutes as opposed to calling customer service and waiting on hold. There's a little shortcut which will tell you how many minutes you've used, because back in the day, minutes were not unlimited.
Yeah.
I kind of
that's-
lost me there a little second, but
Actually,
It
by
was just telling you about,
Yeah, I
here's
wonder
all
if-
you're a new customer to Verizon Wireless. Here's everything you can know.
I wonder, like, if that was because actually minutes not being free back then is how Big D and I ultimately ended up together doing a radio show. There was. That's exactly. If it wasn't for being charged by minutes,
True. What you said is true,
Then-
but we can't really go into it.
I can't really
prefer
go
not
into
to
it. But yeah, no, I'm not going to. But yeah, there was something that happened pertaining to the minutes that ended up costing. Yeah, so yeah, we ended up doing the show together, and boom, here we are.
It was nothing that we did bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna. When I call people to help you out now, like service stuff, customer service thing, they're at their house now.
Yes. Yeah.
Everyone's at home. I hear dogs barking and kids, which is fine, I guess.
Yeah. No, they
You have
most of
access
them
to
went
them.
remote.
I called Southwest Airlines one
Yeah,
time,
mine too. That's
and
what I got.
and I would, you're sitting there talking, all of a sudden you hear, hold on, please. Yeah, I will. Yeah, just go sit in the corner, put your iPad on, and I'm working right now. And no. I'm like, oh man, that's wild.
Well, do you think it really is stupid? Why are you renting out these massive buildings
With
for
all those
people to just sit in cubicles? Because I'll tell you, as a supervisor, my reps wouldn't come to me. They didn't physically walk to my desk if they needed help or if we needed to speak. Everything was instant message, or there was a queue. They would call me, and I'd say, "Yeah, put the customer on with me." I didn't need to see these people face to face. They didn't need to see me. Why are we making them
God, I
commute?
bet you were the best.
I'll tell you what. Here I am coming from Connecticut, where Connecticut is it's very New York City. You're very work driven. Work is work. Personal is personal. And then I take this supervisor job in Nashville. And Nashville was, it's a little more southern. Everyone's nicer. Everybody's friends. You want to come over to my house and have supper? And I'm like, you hang out outside of work? That is blurring lines. That is not appropriate. And I had reps actually ask to be transferred off my team because I would message them like, why are you sitting in after call for 5 minutes? I see that guy who's over there talking to you. You can flirt on your own time. I am like 23 years old and I am scolding.
So people would flirt after they were done with their call with the customer?
No. It would be another rep would come over
they're
and they would be chit chatting. And I'm like, no. We are here to work because that was my Northeast mentality.
Yeah.
And so I was told like, you don't have to go so hard on them. I was like, oh, well, I thought.
So we're not here to win.
Right. I was like, sorry for trying to get my people to do their jobs. All right.
Do you think also that was I don't want to say the power trip, but you were 23 years old and you were put in charge of this whole group of people.
No, it wasn't a power trip because that's how I was managed when I was at Verizon in Connecticut. That's how you worked is you
worked.
it was you did your 8 hours a day. Here's your breaks. Here's your lunch. You're done. And I just kept my little head in the cubicle and answered to who I had to answer to. And then when I got a management position, I just managed the way that I'd been managed, but it was a totally different kind of, I think, atmosphere there, different culture. That's what they call corporate culture was different in the South, in my region, than where I had come from.
Well, it is. Mm-hmm. It's a little different.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, do you want to go to so and so's birthday party?" I'm like, "What? What? Why?"
When we moved to Baton Rouge I moved there from Montana, and Kathy was with me. We weren't married yet. We married in Baton Rouge, but she said the same thing. She's like, everybody wants to know everything. Everybody wants to know who I'm married to, how many kids, do we want kids, do I work, where do I like to shop, everything. And she's just like, I'm just at the grocery store. I just want to go home. I don't want any people to talk to me.
Ma'am, this is the Wendy's.
I know people were stunned when they found out you moved here alone. You don't have a husband with you. You didn't bring a boyfriend. I was like, no. What? Why would I do that? Why I'm 23. I'm a young independent woman making her way up the career ladder, and they're like, "Oh my God, honey, do we need to introduce you to someone?" I was like, "Honey, your eggs are about to be on the shelf."
Oh, wow.
No, I don't think anybody went that far, but it was the idea that I had moved on my own and just taken off and was in a totally new area of the country. People were not used to it, I suppose.
I think it's cool, though, your career path in general, because after high school, you went into the Page program, or were you doing that in high school?
No, I graduated. No. Page, you have to be a college graduate to do.
Okay.
So, yeah. So after college, I was an NBC Page, and I realized, I like television, but I love music. Why am I not doing music? So that's when I went into radio.
But the NBC Page thing, I think is so fascinating because you were there like during the Katie Couric heyday, during the SNL like Will Ferrell heyday.
Yep.
You had interactions with all these people.
Yeah, and actually, a friend of mine who was a page with me, he's going to be coming into town next month, and I've actually invited him to be on our podcast so we could tell page stories if you guys are interested. And if you're not,
I love
we
that.
can tell Alice Cooper stories.
So what?
Alice Cooper.
He and I are big rock fans. Like I show up on his podcast from time to time, talk about Alice Cooper and Kiss and stuff like that.
Does
so.
I think it's
Everyone have a
crazy
podcast?
watching.
Yes, everybody has a podcast, D. That's why we're doing this right now, because you gotta have a podcast.
God.
I think it's good, but we've been doing it for so long though. This is episode 509. That's 509 weeks plus all the times that we take weeks off.
I think Christian is kind of the same. He's got hundreds of episodes.
Really?
He worked for Dennis Miller for years when Dennis was in radio.
Yeah.
And he would sometimes, they would have guests on Dennis's show and he would do interviews, and he's like, well, I really have nowhere else to put them for them to live. And so he started podcasting, and then it branched out from there. So he's that same, he's got the longevity of it. And there are times I'm like, honey, I love you. And I'm sure you get like tens of views, but he's still like, he's out there every week doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing is it takes so much work to get any kind of traction.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And if you're just, I like woodworking. I want to do a woodworking podcast. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
you're gonna do it for 5 times, maybe, and then you're done.
What is the name of the Academy of whatever for the Oscars? Because I have something.
Motion
really-
Picture Academy.
Yeah.
Motion Picture Academy. Okay, so
MPAA. Is it Motion Picture Academy of America? MPAA? Is that
I
it?
think so.
I don't know, but your nerd is showing.
I don't.
So here's the coolest thing. Way back when, before there were podcasts, I used to listen to podcasts. The Motion Picture Association, whatever it is, whatever the Academy is, used to do these 1 to 2 hour long conversations with people in the film industry. And they were just audio. And so I would listen to them talk to Bill Conti, the guy who composed, the LSU grad who composed the Rocky soundtracks, you know, and he was doing all these other things. And he's talking about how, like, on Gonna Fly Now, they had no budget. They basically had 0 budget. So he needed singers for the Gonna Fly Now. So he went, his wife worked at the TV station in LA. And so she just recruited a bunch of people out of the sales department to come into their recording session.
Wow, that's cool.
And sing. So the choir you hear is just a bunch of newscasters.
That's funny.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, and it was so cool. So I used to go through all of these old, they were just interviews. I don't know if they still have them online. I have no idea, but they were so awesome. And it was long form podcasting before there was podcasting. That's all I got.
Well, what do we do with that?
I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to see if it still exists, but I don't know. I mean, they should still keep that out there because it was really, really cool.
Well, it was a tough week in our industry. A lot of people got laid off yesterday. It was Odyssey is a second largest in the radio media in America, and they went through bankruptcy 6 months ago or so.
Yeah, it's been in the last year.
Yeah, and so this came out yesterday. They were just making all the cuts, and the CEO resigned about a month ago or so. So I'm sure they came in there and just kind of, okay, well, we owe this, and this is what's going out, and here's what's coming in, and so there was a lot of these shows that were like 20 years on.
Oh, there's one that was 32.
I saw that. Yeah.
And the thing is, it could be part of the paperwork you sign, because I'm sure there's some sort of severance, even if it's 2 weeks or something, that, you know, thank you for the time. I've worked with great people. There are times where I just want to see someone go ham and just like, you know what? This is awful. It's not my fault that this happened because somebody else, you know, like, and nobody ever does. I get it. Everybody takes the high road. I want someone to get in the dirt.
Get out of it.
Yeah, because we all know.
It's tough. The industry's hard, and you know, you have a lot of these companies that are just trying to, you know, they're just trying to stay afloat and making cuts. And unfortunately, there are people who are involved in that, and you know, real stories and whatnot. But
Yeah, that's real humans being affected. It's not a line items.
So just a thought out to her.
Yeah.
I do have a little
peers.
concern for the industry because a lot of these companies are adopting AI to be their announcers, and it's not going to be good. It's
It
not
went
gonna
off
be-
for a
sure,
while, but then it will.
Yeah, but I'm saying no. I mean, it's
Oh,
not
it's not
going to be good as
I
far
get
as
you, I get you.
yeah, it's not going to be good for the
You mean
industry.
for our job? That's what you mean. Yeah. What you're saying? I understand.
Well, I think
yes.
we're safe. I don't think AI is this dumb. I mean, I mean, that's the beauty.
Yeah, lucky
of,
for us, AI keeps getting smarter.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to tell the AI, do a radio show, and you'd have to, depict all the characters. One, I haven't heard multi-voice stuff that is really creative. They've done that one using Notebook LM, which is interesting, where you have the AI that talks to the AI. It's the guy and girl thing.
Yeah, like
But-
they're doing a podcast.
Right. And so I haven't heard it where they actually are funny ever. But it would be cool to say, do this with a sense of humor. Make one guy, have the brain of a ninth grader, and then you kind of you have that dumb Adam Sandler guy who jumps in and says the stupid stuff.
Comedy's so hard to do with it in person as a human. I can't imagine how it would be sterile with AI. It would just be a joke, like you're reading, like a dad joke, to where it's just like
That it already would have scraped off the internet. I don't think it's going to be able to synthesize or generate
yeah,
a
right.
joke in humor because I'm not. Can you train AI in actual humor? I don't
Yeah,
know that that's possible.
And it's like, can you listen to a conversation with humans, pick up the, kind of call back or whatever,
yeah.
and bring it back in and make it make sense and be funny and quick?
And funny to humans.
Right.
Which, because humor, whenever you tell the computer this is what humor is, it's going to miss the mark.
Yeah, that's
Because-
also who's programming it.
Yeah.
Because like if Bubba's doing it, it's gonna be all the dad jokes
be
and
very
puns.
punny.
He doesn't like dad jokes.
Yeah,
It's their
you're right.
puns.
I'm-
I don't like the term dad jokes
I
because
get
I
it.
find that
He's
it's
a
very
Oh my
derogatory.
gosh.
It's a little offensive.
No,
Y'all,
but it is.
I was talking the other day to somebody about a water heater because I got Bubba in my head that I can't use hot water heater. So I was like, oh, the water heater. I had to take a actual
What's the one,
pause.
Bubba, that you said about friends? I have a friend of mine.
A friend of mine, yeah. So
It's a
we
friend
say-
of mine.
We say really bizarre things like hot water heater. That is something everybody says, oh, I got to fix my hot water heater. No, it's not a hot water heater. You don't heat hot water. It's a water heater. And then the friends of mine thing is the same thing. You go, okay, so I was talking to this guy, Dave. He's a friend of mine. Why don't you say my friend Dave? Why do you have to say a friend of mine? It's just weird.
Something that Mariah says, my girlfriend, she says, I got up at 7 a.m. in the morning.
No, see,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that's a little bothering.
Yeah, that actually is.
7 a.m.
Is she
in
a
the
serial
morning.
killer? Because that
I guess I'll find out.
Do y'all,
Report
sleep
back to us.
do y'all sleep in the same bedroom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are we not allowed to?
No. I said no. I didn't know what your setup was.
Why do you ask?
Because it was the common.
Popped into your head?
Yeah. Follow-up question. Yes. That's what I wanted to know.
Does it just turn you beet red if somebody says ATM machine?
Yes, it does. It does.
Why?
ATM machine. Because machine is in the abbreviation, the acronym.
Automated teller. Oh, it is. Yeah.
Automated teller
I
machine.
thought it was money.
Oh, I have a nerdier one.
I'm going to
Being in
the ATM
sports, the SEC conference. No. No.
Yes.
Because SEC means Southeastern Conference. So you're calling it the Southeastern Conference Conference.
Wow.
It's the same
told
thing.
you
It's
it was nerdy.
ATM machine and SEC conference.
Nothing bothers me.
You know what bothers me? When Rachel Ray says EVOO and then she goes extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah.
Then why did you say EVOO? And she does it every single time.
I don't
Rachel
like-
Ray.
I don't like people saying EVOO.
That too. It
It's
feels
just-
like Rachel kind of started that or Alyssa brought it to.
What is EVOO? I mean,
Extra
extra
virgin
virgin,
olive
but
oil.
that's a thing. Like people
Then
are.
she'll be like, get out
No,
your
it's not.
EVOO,
No.
extra virgin olive oil.
No one says that. No one said they'll
Rachel
You
did.
might. I
know, but
I'm just telling him. No one
No.
really says
No,
that. But
nobody
they,
says
But
it,
they
but-
say it like in like recipes and stuff online. You'll say EVOO,
and then
I
they
don't
always
want
tell
that.
you what it stands for.
and
I
it's
go,
always in real big letters.
Yeah. Yes.
Like all caps?
All caps.
All caps.
It's
Well, anything
always,
you abbreviate, you have to do all caps, except for etc. and AKA. Everything else, if it's an abbreviation, you kind of need to.
is that a
I.e.
is that
IE
a
is
real?
small
IE
letters.
also,
Is
yeah.
that like a thing? Like
no,
a
but
real,
if you're gonna do
A
like
rule?
something, yeah, like if you're
An
gonna say
acronym?
an acronym of anything, like NASA, it's always got to be in capital letters.
yeah, FBI.
You know what though? Every time I've been typing about you guys being in the Country Radio Hall of Fame, I'm always capital H, lowercase o, capital F. I don't do it as a straight three.
H.
Oh, because the Hall, because the
Because
O
it's
is
because
of.
of is little.
Oh, so it needs to be little.
Yeah, and I think I think
okay.
I do that because I've seen other people type it that way.
Now, when you put BDB, like Big D and Bubba, do you put caps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys and I just put BDB. I don't put the ampersand. In.
I do the BDB in caps, but I like the way it looks in lowercase.
Me too.
Because it looks like
It looks artsy,
yeah.
like it was planned.
Oh yeah.
It's like a font, like a
Yeah.
just
Because it
logo.
opposes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I can't. I know you're listening right now. You're going. You guys have 500 at Papa Cut these things. We yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. There's more actually. If you like want to go back, you can listen to other
If this has you so intrigued,
equally as good as this. Are the others?
Shout out to some of the people in the comments here: Justin, Eeyore, Glinda, Dave from Belgium. We also have Johnny and
Belgium.
I love. You've been to Belgium? Mm-hmm. I had an exchange student when I was in middle school from Belgium. His dad was the chief of police of Namur, wherever that is.
Okay,
Belgium.
Thank you.
that's where Kathleen and I went on when we set up that 3-month non-compete.
You went to Belgium?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we have so many great
That's
stories
amazing.
about sitting that 3 months out.
You can't tell.
No, there's some good ones we can tell now.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like
I
we.
wouldn't tell those.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying there are some good ones. We can tell you,
Okay.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll tell
you
you.
guys. I don't
I
know.
did find an old newspaper article of Bubba and I.
I have to show you. Yeah, it's not just the newspaper paper article that I like. Here's us in the studio with our first of a kind opposing control boards. We each had our own control board, which was like nobody in radio. When we asked for it, they were like, "Why do you want to do this?" We're like, "So we can do two things at once." And they're like,
Yep, that's right.
"What?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're gonna do two things at once."
We're going to be a factory.
And we did, and it was cool. And then you also sent, and I've got to share this with anybody watching the podcast. I'm sorry if you are listening and you don't get to hear it, but we did
On the other ones that we've done, the other 500, we did the same thing. Yeah, just by the way.
yeah, we did a campaign with the Dairy Board of Louisiana to back when Got Milk was a thing. We did a Got Milk billboard, but we had to earn it. And they were like, "Can you, instead of us just giving you the billboard, can you make it into like a stunt?" And we're like, "Okay, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do?"
Can we?
Yes, this is what radio does better than anything else.
We were
And so
so
we
stunty.
did this. We did this stunt where we broadcasted underwater.
Milk.
Under milk in
Oh.
scuba gear
For 101
for like
minutes.
for about an hour and a half.
Wow.
And then we came up and they were like, "Okay, you did it, guys. You've earned your
Did it-
Got Milk."
Walmart
things."
parking lot, wasn't it?
Yeah, Walmart parking lot, Denham Springs, Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. And no, it wasn't. No.
I crave milk. I did. It was powdered milk, and then the fire department came in and put water in these. It was like dunk tank.
That's how you were able to get as
Yeah.
much milk.
I
Okay.
my skin felt better. No, I'm
I was
even
gonna say
joking.
you guys took a
Not-
milk bath.
Seriously,
90
That's
minute
such a
milk
thing.
bath.
together.
Oh.
Together.
You would not believe how.
Did you bring the cowboy hat?
Are you making fun of me? Are you making fun of my cowboy hat?
I love that.
Are you
back
making
in-
fun of my cowboy? Are you going to make
I've
fun of my
never-
fat face too?
No.
Yeah.
I've never seen the cowboy hat.
That was back in the day whenever. Look, so it's weird because I have the facial hair, I've got the goatee,
I know.
and Big D doesn't. And like, so now we've flip flopped. At
Like
some
Big D
point,
is a baby in that picture.
The reason I had a hat was because I just came back from Montana, and everyone has hats, and it's very
Yeah.
Cowboy
Western.
country.
Yeah, yes. And it didn't do. Well, it did keep me like, you're like, oh, there's the fat hat guy.
Stop.
They were like, oh, I know that guy.
You know,
You actually can pull off a cowboy hat, though.
he could.
You can do it.
The interesting thing is they wanted me to wear a cowboy hat too because the guy at the radio station said, "Baseball caps are not country."
Yeah, he said that.
Oh.
Yeah, he said that.
So
Is that actual milk on your lips, or did you have to use something else for the look?
They had a lady fly in from New York, I believe, and she was a artist that does the
campaigns nationwide.
and it's like cornstarch and food coloring and I forgot what- yogurt, all kinds of stuff. They mix it up and then it's because when they're taking the pictures, it's got to set. It's got to like not droop or whatever. And milk obviously doesn't look like that.
It's just like all those things. Like whenever you see coffee on, and we've talked about this, I think.
It's oil, isn't it?
It's motor oil from your car because to get it to look just right on camera or on film,
Yeah.
it's motor oil.
Well, usually whipped cream or something like that, they use shaving cream.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it holds up better also. And like the whipped cream will melt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The air will come out of
Cheese
it.
is glue.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like if you're doing a pizza where
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
pull,
that's
where
glue.
they
You
want the
pull a
pull.
slice,
Yep.
and then the cheese is just.
You do. You want the cheese pull.
I think
and
they
that's
use glue as like cereal milk too,
Yes, they do.
which
Because
looks so delicious. I
it
wanna eat
really
glue.
does.
I've eaten glue.
I mean, kids
We
do.
all ate glue.
Yeah, why did we grow out of that?
Also, why did we have paste and glue? What's the difference?
There is no difference.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is there a difference?
I think they're both adhesives.
Huh.
Paste was in that
You mean like a glue stick? You call that
No,
paste?
paste
or-
you had, it was
No.
a jar with a brush
brush. It was built into
into
it.
the lid.
We called that rubber cement.
Yes.
Now that
It was
that's
still
the opposite.
different.
That's another
It
one.
was still different, though.
We had rubber cement too. That stuff
Yes.
would get you.
Oh, rubber cement. When you finally reached the age in elementary school when you could use rubber cement, it was the best.
Golly, just hanging out at the.
All right, so paste is a type of adhesive that's made of a mixture of water and flour.
Flour?
It can be used to attach two surfaces together or to hold pieces of paper together. Glue, on the other hand, is a type of adhesive that is composed of a strong chemical and typically requires heat to activate.
What do you use for the pinata? Is that paste? Is that what you use? Did you guys have to do that? I don't know why
Like
that
paper
was.
mache?
Yeah, paper mache. Isn't that just like paste?
Yeah, I think it's just like
Flour
we would
and
use like
water.
school glue.
Yeah.
Is what it would, like
I don't know
Elmer's.
why that was always an art project for us. The amount of paper mache we did.
We had a paper mache.
Yeah, right. Why did we all have to do that?
I don't know.
Like that.
I mean, no, we had a paper mache that looked like us.
Oh, we did?
Oh,
Yeah, we did
and then people came
life-size-
out and beat us.
Yeah, we did for it was for Cinco de Mayo one year. We did life-size Big D and Bubba pinatas. We had to go and do those death masks they used to do like in the
Yeah.
1800s. We had to go. Remember that?
Yeah.
We had to go and the guy put the plaster on our face, and we had like the little
The straws.
the straws coming out of our
Yeah.
yes,
nostril.
I've seen the making of Thriller. Yes.
That's what
we
it looked
did.
like.
And then they hung them up at a casino.
Yes.
Of course.
Yep. I'm
It's
gonna
an
find
easy
it
sell.
because I had. Yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was cool.
Yeah, and people just come out and just
Hit
whack
you
us.
with a stick.
Just whacking us.
And I kept the top half of me because the bottom half broke off.
Oh, you have it still?
Yeah, I had it.
Oh,
I got rid of it in one of my mini moves, which was kind of sad. But yeah,
Do you guys have a bunch of your radio T-shirts?
No,
Nope.
I wish I
Not
had
anymore.
kept them.
You got rid of
Every
them too?
time I got fired, that went to Goodwill.
Yeah.
I wore all mine out, and then they became rags. So
You can get those made into like a quilt. I wish I would
know.
have done that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the worst part was if I did, and I didn't get fired a lot, but I got fired a couple times. And if you wore it out, people might stop and ask you about the radio station. And the last thing I want to do is be like, yeah, I used to work there.
Oh yeah,
But
right. Yeah, I get
cool. It was a bummer. So I would just always. So there are people who have, hey, K-Rock with Carson on the back. If you were so inclined to go shopping at the Goodwill when I
Man,
dumped all that off.
I bet when you worked at the rock station, you got wild calls from dudes.
Dudes.
Oh my! Not just calls. Guys would show up. I worked nights alone
no.
in a building that was a glass door. You
Oh.
could see through the glass door into my studio, and guys would show up.
And just watch you?
Or they'd call, because they just get on their stuff like, hey, girl, that's me outside. Let me in. I'm like, I don't, what?
Hey, girl, that's me.
Yep.
Let me in.
Yeah, would love it. And they really thought, because let's say they would call at night and they'd talk to me or request a song. They really thought there was some sort of, not
Yeah.
even friendship, but
Yeah, a connection.
yeah, or even just the straight up, oh, no, like, you know me. I'm okay. No, I don't at all. Again, you know what I am on the air? Like, rock chick. Yeah, I'm going to play that song for you. And what off the air? I am an uptight little thing from Connecticut. I am scared you're going to murder me.
So I found the.
Pinata.
That's the.
Oh
watch,
my gosh.
Watch how crazy! I'll show Garrett and everybody. That's the life-size pinata of me.
Keanu Reeves.
Well,
It's
no.
sad Keanu.
So it was hanging up. That was me below it. I was
Oh,
real
wow.
skinny back then.
The calves have not changed though.
Let me see. Oh, wow.
I mean, it looks like
Isn't it
it looks
crazy?
like we're getting hung.
Yeah. It's
Like-
like it's not the best
We
look.
stole horses or something.
It does.
My
it looks
brother
like
Sam is dead. Yes.
it looks like Brooks was here in Shawshank.
Oh.
I'm sorry to bring that up.
Wow. I mean, it was a cool idea, but I wish they'd found other ways to levitate
Displace.
y'all.
Yeah, now right around the neck. And hang it out from the ceiling on the rafters.
Little D and Bubba doing a classic radio stunt where we had the lady for tickets to some concert allowed us to slather her body with dog food, and then we let a pack of dogs eat the dog food off of her. It was one of those dumb what would you do for concert ticket things that we used to all do back in the day.
And even then, concert tickets weren't that outrageously expensive.
$20.
Right? Like today,
they
I
did
can
that
see
for
like
$20.
I get it. Like I want tickets to the Eras tour, fine.
Yeah,
but-
they're like $500.
right now. But back then, you
Nah.
were like,
$7.99. $7.99. Or we can slather you with this canned dog food. Yeah, it's a little cold. Oh, my bad. But hey, it's going to be worth it. Bring them in.
Dude, you realize all she had to do was get bit one time,
oh yeah.
and
Yeah, but-
we could have gotten sued.
Yeah, but but everyone's kind of like, I don't know. It's like there is a connection because we got to know her a little bit,
Yeah,
and I don't remember her name.
but we got to know her.
Barely remember the story. However, there was something there, and otherwise she wouldn't have done that. She trusted us. And,
Yeah,
and
that's
if
true.
something
You're right.
happened, she'd been like, "Hey, y'all didn't bite me."
I think she
I
provided
agreed.
the dogs.
Yeah, I think probably.
Oh.
I think it was dogs that she knew, like it was hers and her brothers and like the neighbor's
okay.
dog.
Yeah,
That's
we-
actually different.
Yeah, we
Instead
thought
of it
out.
being wild dogs.
Yeah.
Here's some street dogs. Here you go.
I
Have
mean,
fun.
okay. Yeah.
We did so much stupid stuff. A big shout out to Marianne Sophia. I haven't seen you watching the
Marianne.
podcast
She
in a while.
sent me Spurtles for my birthday. It's a wooden like stir thing. She sent me some years back, and it's my favorite. There's one in particular. It's this really long one, and it's wooden. And I was making something one night, and I had it, and it made me think about her. I'm like, I've had this forever, and made me think about her. So I took a picture of it, and I said, still got it, and I DM'd it to her. And then she was like, oh, that's great. And then she sent me more.
Oh,
Yeah,
I still
sweet.
use the ones she gave me. She got me silicone, and they're red, so they match my kitchenware.
Wow. look at that.
Yeah, I use
you
those.
actually bought more kitchenware to match the stuff she sent?
No, she had asked me specifically what color my kitchen stuff was, and she got me the red. And I use it when I make Rice Krispie treats.
Over the years, we got to meet Marianne back in the day, like way back when. And over the years, she is just one of the sweetest human beings on the planet. So big shout out to her.
Yeah, she's sweet.
All right. I guess we can probably get into our weekend. Unless anybody, as Big D likes to say, is there anything else?
No, okay.
You got anything else? Okay, so
Oh,
stick
here we
around
go.
for Kaylee Hammock after the closing jingle if you're listening.
This was the podcast,
But
but
now
now it's over. But that's okay, because you can listen to the regular show on the radio every day.
Yeah, 500 of them.
It was the Big D and
509.
Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Yeah.
The Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast. The Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
The Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
All right.